here.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. So give her a warm round of applause.
Let me see. Do I need the mic? Or can y'all hear me? Hello?
You guys hear in the back, or do you want
Hello?
the mic?
I can use the mic. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you're not here.
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, Lodestar. How are you guys doing? Good, good. As your principal said, I am Caheri Gutierrez. I'm super honored to be here with you all today. Thank you so much for adjusting your schedule to make this time. As I hear from your principal and Diana, you all have been working really hard on discussing gun violence, its impact, but also ways that you all can be part of the solution. And so I'm really excited to be here with you all to talk to you a little bit about my experience with gun violence, as well as community work and community impact. All right, let's get into it. So again, my name is Caheri Gutierrez. I am the Director of Fund Development and Communications at a nonprofit here in Oakland called the Unity Council. Now, my career started at the age of 9 years old. I began doing community organizing work in second grade, and I can talk to you a little bit more about that. But first, let's get into my background a little bit. So growing up, my family migrated to East Oakland from Mexicali in the early 90s. My mom migrated here, just a single mom, with my older brother, myself as a middle child, and my younger sister, Ellie. And so we were really lucky to have landed here in Oakland, especially in the Fruitville area, because during that time, the organization that I currently work for, the Unity Council, had already established essentially like a safety net for immigrant families like ours. So they were very helpful in our transition. I went on to elementary school in the Fruitville at an elementary school called Hawthorne. And so in second grade at 9 years old is where I had this experience that totally changed my life. My second grade teacher, Mr. Silver, this guy right here, took my classmates and I, and this is my classmates and I, this is me, on a field trip to UC Berkeley. And for me and my peers, that was like the very first time that we had the opportunity to leave Oakland and hop on the beautiful Highway 13 and get ready to embark on our trip to UC Berkeley. Now, my teacher was hyping UC Berkeley up. He was like, this is the #1 public educational university in the world, which it is. The smartest, brilliant minds come here. You have to have a 4.0 GPA. And so I was getting really hyped up about visiting this amazing place that was literally right in our backyard. And so I remember once we got to UC Berkeley, I was super juiced. I get off the bus, and the first thing that I see is a young girl, a young student, walking across campus at UC Berkeley with her Jordans on, hoop earrings, her hair in a bun. And I was just like, oh my God, people like me also belong here. People like me can also access these institutions. And so from that moment on, I became obsessed with the idea of going to UC Berkeley. So much that when I came back to school as a second grader, I kept talking to my teacher about this idea of how do I prepare to go to college? How do I get ready to go to UC Berkeley? Like, I want to go there. And at 9 years old, I began to facilitate meetings across Oakland with parents, with students, with elected officials, council members, mayor, to begin to talk about this idea of creating an elementary school, because at that time I was in elementary, an elementary school that focused on creating a college-going culture in elementary, because it was really important for students like us that come from Oakland to prepare for college at a very early age, because our advantage point is very different than other students of other races. And so by the time I turned 13 years old, I became the student founder of Think College Now Elementary School in the Fruitville. Raise your hand if you've ever seen this school. It's over on that side of town. Don't be shy, raise your hand. Cool. So Think College Now, yeah. And that was amazing. Like I couldn't even believe that happened, but it was an awesome achievement. At that point, I was too old to go to that school because it was only an elementary school, and by that time I was an 8th grader. But it was still just an amazing accomplishment, and till this day, Think College Now is one of California's most distinguished schools. By the time 5th graders graduate that elementary school, they receive a college scholarship to help them prepare for college, and then, throughout their experience in middle school and high school, we provide other resources, which I'll talk to you about. Cool. So while that was amazing, I was also, involved in a national traveling volleyball team. I loved volleyball. I love volleyball. And I was getting to travel all over the country at a really young age. I took my team to the Junior Olympics in Houston, Texas. I had really good grades. I was involved in student leadership classes, with the idea that I wanted to go to UC Berkeley one day. But what was really happening, when I would leave school, was that I was still living in the hood. Like, I was still living, in apartments, and it was really tough. The environment outside of where we were living was really challenging, especially for my older brother. As I mentioned, I only have one older brother, and we didn't have, my dad around. So for my brother, growing up became extremely challenging because the only folks that were there to be male mentors for my brother were, the people outside, the apartments or where we stayed at. And at that time, gangbanging was something that was really, really prominent in Oakland. And my brother, unfortunately, was really influenced by, the people that lived outside, and he started gangbanging. And that impacted our household, because one day my brother was just, the person that would walk me to school, and then the next day he was at juvie, and then the next day, he was getting into fights, and the police was coming to our house, and that changed my living dynamic so much, and it also changed his. Eventually, my brother, continued in that lifestyle. It affected him a lot, so much that he was sent to California State Prison for 5 years. And that really, impacted me. I was always somebody, like I mentioned to you all, that was really focused in school. But when my big brother was locked up, it was very challenging for me to stay focused, to, give it my all in school. And my sophomore year of high school, I witnessed my brother actually get shot. And that even added more trauma and more mental health issues to what I was already kind of experiencing. So I couldn't come to class. I couldn't go back to my bio class. I couldn't come back to any of my classes and stay focused anymore. I was catting off. I was not paying attention. I was cutting class. I was hanging out with friends. And so as a result of this, I ended up getting kicked out of high school. And I went to school in Alameda at Encinal because it had a really strong volleyball program. And my path to UC Berkeley was going to be through a volleyball scholarship. And so I was devastated I was devastated when I got kicked out of Incinel. But, you know, it all ties back to the story. I ended up getting kicked out of Incinel High School in Alameda and got sent to Dewey Academy in Oakland. Once I got to Dewey, you know, I felt like I had let myself down. Dewey is an alternative school, but I still was like, nah, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to make sure that I stay on track. You know, my credits, I'm behind on credits, my grades are, you know, not the best, but I'm gonna still make it happen. But one day, it was my senior year at Dewey Academy, and my mom hit me up and she asked me if I could help her clean one of the offices that she used to clean. My mom at that time was a janitor and she was also a waitress. So she had just got off her waitressing job and she called me and she's like, Carrie, can you come help, you know, clean the office this evening? So I'm like, yeah, I got you, Mom. And then the most unimaginable thing that I could ever think of occurred to me that day. And I'm gonna play a video so you all can see. Okay.
It was a regular day.
Can you guys hear that?
And I remember
In the back? No? Okay, give me a second.
I was going to be working back
Okay. Thank you guys for being so attentive. You guys are doing such a good job. Okay, let's do it.
regular day. And it was a regular day. And I remember getting out of school. I was going to be working that night, and I asked my friend for a ride. Got in his car, drove down 98th, and remember pulling up to a light. I was just looking up at the light, waiting for it to change, when suddenly a car pulls up next to us, and my friend who's driving, he's screaming, and that's when he looked at me. His facial expression was like he saw a ghost. I woke up at Highland Hospital with screws coming out of my face, no bottom teeth, a tube pierced into my throat. I was just like, I look so crazy. Like, this is how I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. Therapy for me was great because it really helped me get out of this big depression phase that I was in. I became just really inspired by me being a survivor. At 18 years old, I decided that violence prevention and developing youth leaders was gonna be my focus. Like, that was it. I'm extremely passionate about preventing gun violence. Young people historically have been the ones to make change in the world, and there's so much power in that.
All right. Thank you. So, in 2008, 2008. And I'm gonna share an image right now that may be a little graphic. So I do wanna just warn you all. Just the stuff that we talk about in general as it relates to gun violence is really, sometimes very serious stuff. And so I just want to give you all a warning before you see the image that I'm going to share with you all. Okay, well you saw some of them in the video, but essentially what happened, you all, is in 2008, I was 18 years old. I was a senior in high school. As I mentioned, my mom was a janitor, and she asked me to help her clean the office, which was over here by the airport. So I didn't hop on the bus, I was at school. I was at home and I called a friend for a ride because at that time I wasn't driving. So my friend was like, yeah, I got you. So he picked me up and we just headed down 98th Avenue. It was literally like a regular day. Thursday, it happened on a Thursday, November 20, 2008. I was sitting on the passenger side, my friend was driving me. And all I remember was just driving down 98th Avenue and stopping at San Leandro Boulevard at a red light. And then the next thing that I felt was literally like shocks coming from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. My body just felt completely paralyzed. And suddenly, I look over to my friend, the one who's driving, and he has a big bullet wound in his arm, the arm that he was using to drive. And so immediately, the first thing that I did was reach over to my friend because he was really scared to try to help him. But that's when he looked at me and he was just in complete shock. And he's like, Caheri, he could hardly even look at me. He's like, you got shot, Caheri. And I'm like, where? Now I'm like trying to, feel myself out, assess the situation. I didn't feel like I got shot. And then suddenly I put my hand to my face and I just felt my hand go completely into my face. It was something that, to this day I can't even believe happened to me. But I survived. I was able to make it out of that situation alive. I ended up at Highland Hospital in the ICU, which is the intensive care unit, where I received some really amazing attention from the doctors, the hospital, the nurses, but I also was connected to a case manager who worked for an organization similar to Vision Quilt, called Youth Alive. And so Youth Alive, please remember this name. Youth Alive is an organization here in Oakland that supports all families in Oakland and Alameda County if they have ever been victims or survivors of gun violence. So if you ever get shot and you end up, or you know somebody that gets shot and ends up at Highland Hospital or any of the hospitals here in Alameda County, they come to your bedside. And so she came to my bedside and offered me supports. She was like, oh, you're 18 years old, you haven't finished, you're like this close to finishing high school, you don't have your L's yet, you don't have your driver's license yet, like I can help you with that. And also, like, you're gonna need to be connected to a therapist. And so she did that. And that was one of the best community resources that could have ever helped me. That was like one of the most transformative moments in my life when I was connected to this community-based organization called Youth Alive. They connected me to a therapist, which was really important at that time for my mental health, because I had a lot of trauma, and so we were able to really unpack a lot of that stuff, talk about what I was feeling, talk about my brother, and get through a lot of those experiences and issues. So in addition to that, they offered me my very first job. So I became a violence prevention educator for this organization called Youth Alive. And so I taught schools at Castlemont, Skyline, and Life Academy. And basically what I did was I trained high school students to learn a curriculum, a presentation on how to prevent gun violence, how to talk about the root causes of gun violence, how to discuss solutions. And so this is one of my groups. This is like years ago now, but we went around all of Oakland and they presented to middle school students. And after the presentations, middle school students felt like, you know what, after hearing this information, gun violence is preventable in my community. So that was amazing work. That year, we saw a decrease in homicides and gun violence throughout the entire city of Oakland. We did such impactful work that the city of Oakland mayor's office one day calls my phone and says, "Hey, are you Caheri Gutierrez?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I heard about your work with Teens on Target, and I want to ask if you would be open to working for me in the city of Oakland mayor's office." When I got that call, I could not believe it. It hadn't been that long since I had survived the shooting. And so for me to get this opportunity to work in the city of Oakland with the mayor was something that I had never even dreamed or imagined of. And so I went and I took the position. I began to inform the mayor on her education policy, on her citywide education policy, which is now called the Oakland Promise. Raise your hand if you've heard of the Oakland Promise. That's amazing. Okay, thanks for raising your hand. So the Oakland Promise is modeled after the elementary school that I helped found in College Now. So basically it provides resources, college-going culture, resources for students all the way from kindergarten to college. So it's not just helping you get to college, but helping you get through it. So you get a college savings account, you get a scholarship, you get a mentor, all of these amazing resources. And I'm really proud to say that I was one of the founding members of the Oakland Promise and helped inform this. And now you all have this amazing resource for you. So once you get to high school, you will be able to basically you basically have a guaranteed scholarship for college. And it doesn't have to be UC Berkeley or Cal State. It can be wherever you want to go, whatever post-secondary education you all choose to pursue. All you have to do is have a 4.5 GPA. I'm just kidding.
You guys couldn't call that? You guys have been learning about that for a long
Right?
time.
No, I'm just kidding. 4.5 is ridiculous. No, all you have to do is have at least a 2.0 GPA, which is super attainable. And you basically have this guaranteed scholarship. So I'm really excited to have been a part of that. Now, my work at the Unity Council, man, full circle. Remember when I started my story and I shared that I went to elementary school in Fruitvale? Well, I'm now the Director of Communications and Fund Development at this organization in the Fruitvale called the Unity Council. And my work there is really to support the organization, to ensure that everybody in the entire city and around the county knows about our impact, to ensure that our organization is financially sustainable by helping raise funds for it. But I've had some amazing experiences that sometimes even I have a hard time processing. I've been able to work with the Attorney General, Rob Bonta, and his wife, Assemblymember Mia Bonta. I've been invited to the White House to inform not this current administration, the Trump administration, but the prior administration of Trump and Kamala Harris's administration, Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris's administration. I was invited to come and speak to their administration about the things that we're seeing here in Oakland and solutions and ways that they can fund us to, continue to have a vibrant city. So there's just been a lot of amazing things. This is a picture, a still shot of me at a KTVU interview that I recently did, which was really amazing. They selected some leaders throughout Oakland to talk about solutions for Oakland. So I thought that was a really amazing experience. And this is a picture of the Dia de los Muertos Festival in Oakland. Have any of you ever attended the Dia de los Muertos Festival in the Fruitvale? Raise your hand. Yeah, I see some head nods? Okay, cool. So I'm in charge of putting that festival together. Every year, over hundreds and thousands of people come to this Dia de los Muertos Festival, Day of the Dead Festival. It is the second largest festival in the state of California, and you all are welcome to attend. This year it's happening November 2nd, and if you go, let me know because I'll get you guys in the VIP. So yeah, it's really an amazing part of our culture, And I feel so proud to be a part of that. And my dream to go to Berkeley. So I was able to attend Berkeley through a transfer program a little while ago. And this fall, I submit my application, my formal application to UC Berkeley so that I can begin going there spring of 2026, finally. So, you know, sometimes your route to post-secondary education or to college isn't just linear. Sometimes there's zigzags and challenges and bumps along the way. But if you're dedicated and you have a goal, you can absolutely achieve it. The experiences that happened to me, whether it was from growing up to my brother, to me personally getting shot, to, you know, my mom and sister being undocumented and going through that entire process. So many things. It's just growing up in Oakland in general. You know, it's not an easy thing. But I stayed focused and I persevered and I made a plan and I made it happen. So that can be you all too. So I think the things that I want you all to remember, let's say 3. 1 is stay informed. Stay informed about the resources and opportunities that are available to you. Opportunity changes everything. One opportunity, one open door can totally change the trajectory of your life. So please stay informed and connected. The other thing is surround yourself with mentors. Surround yourself with positive people. Stay connected to your principals, the folks that want to see you win, because those people are also going to help open more doors for you and help make sure that you meet the end goal. So always stay connected. Ask for help. Don't be shy. Use me as a resource too. So I heard, oh, and then one more thing. What was the third thing that I was going to share with you all? Get involved. Get involved. Do something. I'm really proud of you all for being involved in the Vision Quote program and for having these really tough conversations and discussions around gun violence, its impact on mental health, but also to talk about the solution and ways that you all can contribute to the solutions. So I know that you're going to wrap this up and deliver some beautiful installations by the end of this month. Congratulations on that. Continue to stay involved. Continue to ask your teachers, your principals, mentors about more opportunities. And you can always reach out to me at the Unity Council to stay connected with other volunteer opportunities, internships, etc. That is it from me. I thank you all so much for your time. Thank you. And now I'm going to turn it to you all. Do you have any questions, reactions, comments, thoughts? Don't be shy. Anybody? It could be about my upbringing, what I do now, open promise, the shooting, whatever. I'm literally an open book, you all. Yes.
Do you still live here?
Do I still live here? Yes. I do still live here. I live up the street. I live in Oakland. I'm from East Oakland. I grew up everywhere in Oakland. I grew up in the Dubs. I grew up in Brookfield in the 80s. But right now I live over here on Keller. Thank you for the questions. Anybody else? Yes.
When you initially thought about going to UC Berkeley, what was your thought for like a major?
Sociology. Yeah. My declared major is sociology. And then I want to plan to get my master's in urban planning. Did you go to Berkeley?
I
Okay, yeah. Yes,
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
where do I see myself in the next 5 years? Washington DC. Yeah. Hopefully, and when this current presidential administration is out of office, I plan to go to Washington DC and work in the White House and help inform from an open perspective. Yes.
Have you ever thought about running for mayor?
Have I ever thought about running for mayor? It's funny because I get that question a lot. And I'm really humbled that anybody would even consider me for something like that. But I would only run for mayor if y'all would vote for me, so I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't think, when you have interest in running for office, I don't think it's something that, you should be like, I'm gonna run for mayor. It should be the community that tells you, like, hey, we think that you would be an amazing council member or an amazing mayor. So if enough people tell me, then I will do it for the people. But right now, I'm just chilling at the Unity Council and working on, my self-care and my community. Thank you. Yes.
What was the name of the program you worked for?
Yeah, it was Teens on Target. Teens on Target, they have it, they present at all middle schools throughout Oakland, Elmhurst, let me see, what middle schools are close to here? Elmhurst, what's that, is that Madison over there? Yeah, Madison, all the schools throughout Oakland. And then, once you get to high school, they have the actual program where you're now the presenter, at Castlemont, Skyline, Fremont, and Life Academy. Yeah, that's where they have it. And this is through Youth Alive, the organization. And Youth Alive is a very important organization. If any of you ever, I hope this doesn't occur, but if you ever find yourself knowing somebody that's ever been impacted by gun violence, Youth Alive is a very important resource to share with the family or of the impacted folks, because they basically literally hold your hand and guide you through the entire tough process. So remember that, Youth Alive. Any other questions? Yes.
If you weren't able to go to UC Berkeley, what other college would you recommend that you would go to?
Oh, if I wasn't, you know what? I was interested in Mills College. It's now called Northeastern. That's a really great college. A lot of amazing people have gone through that college. And honestly, I don't know. I'd love to go to UCLA, Harvard, Stanford, but I'm gonna go to Cal. Yes. Whatever happened to my friend that gave me a ride? So thank you for asking that. I was hoping somebody would ask that, because it ties into a very important lesson about friends. So, when I was hanging out with this person, I didn't really know them like that, to be honest. They were just a friend, and I needed a ride. I hit them up, and they picked me up. And then this happened to me. And in the hospital and what followed up after the shooting, it was really telling. My brother and my family was trying to ask him for information, what did you see? How did this happen? And it became really clear that, he had some ops, he had some issues with some people, and I didn't know that. I didn't really know his background, but I got in the car with him, and I put myself in this situation where it changed my life completely. So knowing who your friends are and knowing who you surround yourself with is super important, y'all, because you never know what kind of situations they could put you in. So yeah, no, we don't talk that much. Thank you for the question. Hello. Yes.
What are some ways that young people can advocate for policy changes around gun violence? Yeah.
Man, young people, you all literally for years have been the change makers. Like you all have the power because eventually in a couple years you all will be the ones running this city. And so I think what is really important is to first identify the issues that matter to you. Why do they matter to you? And what kind of proposed solutions you have, right? Organize within yourselves and engage with local government. Local government, City Hall is right there for you. They even have an Oakland Youth Advisory Commission that you can apply for, and you can literally be like one of the top dogs in City of Oakland as a young person and influence policy. And so what I would encourage you all to do is really think about the stuff that matters to you, things that impact your community, put together a plan, a proposal, solutions, community-centered solutions, youth-centered solutions, and bring it to the table. It's absolutely possible. I was able to bring an idea, a vision at 9 years old to life at 13. You all can absolutely do something like that as well. And if you need any support, getting there, you can absolutely reach out to me, to your principal, to Diana, any of your mentors. We can make that happen. Yes?
Do you recommend any programs for extra college credits?
Do I recommend any programs for extra college credits? Well, let's see. I'm pretty sure in high school here, you offer college, dual enrollment. Oh my God, please take advantage of this opportunity. So when you get to high school, you can apply for dual enrollment, which means that you can also take, while you're taking your high school classes, you can take college courses. And trust me, you go to Lodestar. You can absolutely take classes in college. You have the brilliance, the mind to do that. So by the time you graduate high school, you will already have college credits, which means that once you go off to college, you'll graduate in like 3 years or 2.5, because you've already accumulated all of those college courses in high school. So take advantage of that. Talk to your counselors about it. Great question. Did I see a hand back there? Yeah.
Where do you think you would be at if you never went on that car ride?
Where do I think I would be at if I never went on the car ride? Oh my God, that's such a good question. You know what? I think and I believe that everything is meant to happen. For a long time, I don't know who shot me. Like, the person was never identified and no arrests were ever made. So for a while, I lived with a lot of like resentment and emotions and just, a lot of feelings. But once, and talking to my therapist, once I was able to forgive the person who shot me without even knowing them, my life just exploded, just dramatically changed in a very positive way. And so now I don't ever think like, dang, what would my life be if I never would have gotten shot? Maybe my face would be more symmetrical. I wouldn't have my scars, but I'm really grateful for the life that I have right now, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. Thank you for the question. Yes?
What did you do to take care of yourself, like, after the incident, but also now as you have these conversations and also sharing the story of what happened? How do you take care of yourself emotionally and mentally?
Yeah.
To be able to do this work?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you talk about, really tough subjects, emotions come up for you or memories come up for you that, are challenging. But I'm gonna keep it real with you all. When this happened to me, I don't know, my brain got wired some kind of way where I just like emotionally detached from the situation. So, sharing what happened, the details, like it doesn't bring up a lot for me. Also, I think therapy helped me be this way because when it first happened, like I couldn't, even begin to talk about it without crying. And now it's not like that. But I continue to do stuff for my own mental health, for like self-care. Like I still play volleyball on Wednesday evenings. My family is super close. I almost lost my family. I almost, got ripped away from my mom and my sister and my brother. So I spend so much time with my family. Like we get together every weekend. We, barbecue, do carne asada, turn up. Like, I'm very close with my family. And just giving back to the community is another thing that really helps me keep going. Yes.
How old are you?
How old am I? I just turned 35.
Oh.
Yeah, I just turned, which is crazy for me to even say, you all, because I started my journey, like when this happened to me, I was 18. And at 18, around 19, I started going out to all the schools and talking about my story. And I just turned 35 last month. And one of the things that I thought about so much is like, dang, I'm old now, like I'm 35, like I can't believe that, but it's all good. You embrace it. I love it. But yeah, thank you for the question. Yes.
So you were talking about internships?
Yes.
What are they about and how old do you have to be?
Great question. There are so many internships available throughout Oakland. I think what anybody who's interested in an internship should think about is, what is your interest? What do you care about? What do you want to do? Once you identify what your interest is, then you begin to search and ask your teachers and mentors to help you find an internship related to your interest, right? So I would suggest beginning with that thought, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to learn about? What excites me? What interests me? And then your teachers, your mentors, your counselors can help you identify. And then, I'm also a resource too. Can share any information as needed. Yes?
How exactly did it contribute to making the,
Oakland Promise?
no,
Think College Now?
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so as a student founder, how did I contribute to founding Think College Now? Yeah, so I think in many ways I was the visionary behind the school. The experience at UC Berkeley made me just dream without limits about going to UC Berkeley. I had a teacher, Mr. David Silver, who was my mentor till this day, who noticed something in me and said, let's talk more about that vision. Let's bring it to fruition. And then together we put an action plan, like, okay, we want this to happen. What needs to happen in order for that to come to life? Well, we need to get the community involved and see if people even want to do something like that. Then the community got involved. And we're like, okay, now we got to talk to the school district, and we got to talk to the mayor and to elected officials and see if there's a possibility. And then we did that. So I was the only student from 9 to 13 years old that was part of the entire decision-making body for Think College Now. And I think a lot of the reason why OUSD and the school district decided to say yes and help open doors for us was because they saw a little girl that was like, we have to make this happen. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
If the career that you have now didn't go out as planned, what other career options would you want to do?
Yeah. Ooh, you know what? I'm really interested in philanthropy. I'm really interested in running a philanthropy organization. What is philanthropy? So philanthropy is basically you manage wealth. There's a lot of wealthy people in the Bay Area in California, and you help advise these wealthy people on how to spend their money. So I would help advise these people on spending it, delivering some funds to Lodestar, delivering some funds to after-school programs, delivering it, to organizations and, needs that are really essential right now in Oakland. That's something that I'm really interested in as well. So I would probably be doing that. I also have I really love fashion. It's been something that has been a part of me ever since I was young. And so I have a clothing line, it's called Caheri's Closet. And that's my passion project that I like to do when all this big girl job stuff gets really stressful. I come back and I create designs and I print stuff and I have my own, fashion boutique. So that's what keeps me balanced as well.
We also make shirts here.
Oh, you make shirts here?
What's our program called now?
Lodestar about business.
Lodestar about business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody has a black shirt today. Anybody have a shirt on?
Oh my gosh, super high quality too?
Okay, I see the lab shirts coming out, okay.
Oh,
Come on, Diego, I see you got a lab shirt on. You got a lab shirt on?
okay, everybody. Well, I love that because it's one of my passions, so keep that up. You could always, clap once to hear my voice. Okay, that's always a great side hustle. So I encourage you all to tap into any of your passions, any of your dreams while you work on, your education, which is really important, and also contributing to the community. Okay, so it looks like we are at time, but before we wrap up, I just want to thank you all so much. You all have been such a great group of students. Shout out to your principal and your teachers for helping, just create such an environment. I'm so impressed by all of you. Thank you for being so respectful, so attentive, for participating. Stay connected. And again, I appreciate all of your time and support your work with Vision Quilt. Maybe I can come by in March and check out your installations. But again, thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best of luck. Please reach out to all of your resources and stay connected. Thank you.